Hey everyone, please subscribe to the channel, click the bell notifications, get notified of our latest videos, give the video a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and leave a comment. I do read and appreciate every comment you guys and girls leave behind. I may not reply to them all, but they are all appreciated. And there's a link in the description of the video that takes you to a big long list of all handy videos and a lot of the products I use in my videos. You now have the chance to support the video content creation by using Patreon or the PayPal me link in the description down below. All the videos always remain free to watch. This is just your chance to help support the videos. Hi everyone, Paul ISM. Welcome to part 3 of our Hobby Design 124th Porsche 911 DLS Singer video build. Now, this has been a trial tribulation of blood, sweat, tears and swearing over the last 8 to 9 days. A lot of work into this. I ended up with 15 hours of footage, which is single-handedly the longest amount of footage I've had for a video build in one go ever. I normally have around 6 to 8 hours to edit to get one part out. This is 15, and I reckon about 7 or 8 of it was carbon fibre work. So, yes, absolute nightmare. It's driven me absolutely mental. But we're here, we're going to get this finished today. So there's a lot to get through, so I hope you stick around. A lot of effort's gone into this video. Hope you stick around. Let me know your thoughts at the end, what you think. And let's jump in and let's get cracking with the build. Hey everyone, please subscribe to the channel, click the bell notifications, get notified of our latest videos, give the video a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and leave a comment. I do read and appreciate every comment you guys and girls leave behind. I may not reply to them all, but they are all appreciated. And there's a link in the description of the video that takes you to a big long list of all handy videos and a lot of the products I use in my videos. You now have the chance to support the video content creation by using Patreon or the PayPal me link in the description down below. All the videos always remain free to watch. This is just your chance to help support the videos. So we're back on our Hobby Design 911 Singer DLS Porsche. Now, as before, we've got plenty of resin parts to cut off and clean up and prep ready for primer. So we're using the razor saw to get rid of the core plugs, and then UMP sanders of various grits and types and what have you to remove any remnants left behind. So a bit of care needed here. Some of these parts are very, very tricky to clean up, especially when we get to the likes of the wheels later on. They're going to need quite a bit of care to clean up without damaging the part. So take your time and just do a nice thorough job. As you see, I've got a knife there to get some of the bigger bits off, and then just to sand it smooth, a 400 Ultimate Thinny Stick. Easy to work with. Like I say, you're better off with a dust mask on, I will personally, and gloves, because you can have a reaction to the resin. I've got my new drill here, the Herzo drill that I've been using. Multi-tool, I put a link in the video last time. And it's in the products on my Amazon storefront now as well. And I'm just going to put some holes in strategic places where they won't be seen. That way we can put a cocktail stick in it and mount it for primer. So great little drill this, 3 speeds, just brilliant, works really well. £20 on Amazon, and it needs a collet set as well, which is about £8, but I'll fit any tool, multi-tool piece then, any drills or what have you. And then another little device that's also on my Amazon storefront is my little bench hoover. This thing, you may laugh, they are £7.60, absolutely fantastic at picking up bits of dust rather than flicking them on the floor or trying to get them in the bin. Because if you're like me, I scoot them off my hand, halfway to the bin, drop all on the floor by accident because I'm an idiot. So there you go. Have a look in the description down below, see my Amazon storefront, and they are linked there. All the resin's been cleaned up as usual with your UMP airbrush cleaner, so degreased, dried. Like I said, we've got everything mounted ready, and we've got some Mr. Servicer Black here. I'm not going to show every part because there's a lot to do. We have a lot to get through today. This was 15.5 hours of footage, filmed over about 8-9 days. And literally about 7 hours of that was carbon decaling. So we cut it right down to make one video today. But it was a long journey to get here. It's like I say, quite a lot to get through. Now the disc, as you can see, I put a hole through the disc and put a cocktail stick in it. We've got photo etch both sides to go on there anyway, so you won't see that. But the Mr. Servicer 1500, thinned with Mr. Hobby level and thinner. We're going through the 0.3 apex at about 18 psi, 16, 18 psi roughly. A couple of light coats, building it up, let it dry overnight, and come back in the next day with some colour. Which for us is Mr. Hobby Super Metallic. Now, I've got to try and remember what colour this is. And I've got a feeling it's stainless. I think it's stainless that I used on this. So again, couple of light coats, 0.2mm apex, same pressure as before. I think we are about 14 psi at the minute. and a couple of coats down. Looks like I'm putting a lot on. I'm not really. Just go around, make sure we get all the angles, recesses, and get a nice even coat on everything. Really do like these super metallics. Here I've got a mix of Tamiya titanium silver and gold to give a goldy titanium colour. And we're going to paint up some parts there. And then the main engine block we are going to paint in Mr. Hobby Super Metal Titanium, I think this one is. And right behind my Paul ISM logo. How good's that? It's perfect there, isn't it? Good positioning. Hide it behind the logo. The exhaust, now looking at the exhaust, they come in all different colours. The one on this particular car that I've seen looks to have ceramic coated exhausts. So that's what we're going to go with. So we're painting in Tamiya white primer. And then all the rest of the parts we're going to paint in Tamiya LP5 semi-gloss black. Simple as that. Lots of work covered up here. It's a good few hours work, a couple of days work here. Bodged into 4 minutes. Makes it look nice and easy. And what was my absolute curse over the last week? Carbon decal. If you're watching the live streams or partaking in the hangouts, you'll hear me complain over and over and over. I use nearly 2 full sheets of Scale Motorsport carbon for this because it was just a nightmare to do. Hundreds and hundreds of pieces of PE because a lot of it had to be pieced because of the complex shapes and sizes. But I think it was worth it in the end. Now, I've always had a habit of oversizing the carbon because I think the 24 scale Motorsport carbon, you can't really see it that well. So I always use the 12. Now I've got some Tamiya for next time. So I've got a few sheets of that. We're going to try that next time and see how that looks. But for this car, we've got 12 scale carbon twill weave. We hit it with UMP strong decal solution, bit of heat off our heat gun. And then we'll finally set it in place with UMP extra strong decal solution at the end, right here. And get all the shapes to conform and fold over where we need them to go. Massive amount of patience is needed here. I reckon I work on this solid for 5 days. Carbon, just for 5 days is all I did. And I was starting to lose my mind in the end. Parts like this I was trying to do in one piece. This is the air intakes that go on the Porsche shelf behind the rear windows. And there's just no way of getting it in one piece. I could get near, so I decided to piece it in sections like this. And if you're clever and line up the weave, it doesn't look too bad. Unless you look really close, you won't see the join. That's okay, so get it all lined up, hit it with the decal solutions. You'll need a few strategic snips with your scissors in areas where it needs to fold around itself. And a bit of heat helps too. So, like I say, there's days and days, probably a good 8 hours worth of footage alone, just carboning. And I've really whittled it down to get rid of all the non-necessary footage we had. So I'm going to show how I did it on this one piece. So we're just working it with the strong decal solution. Let the solution work, do its job, gently keep brushing it down. Put a couple of snips in any corners or edges where you can see it's not going to fold around. And then give it a little bit of heat and you'll see it start to conform by itself. Not too hot, you don't want to melt the plastic, the resin, or destroy the decal. And as you can see, once you've got the decal solutions and a bit of heat, you can really get that carbon decal to conform in place. Nice and simple. And like I say, we can piece it, match up the weave, and you can do a pretty good job of hiding where it's been. But yeah, to get this in one piece, it's doable. It's doable. But I was starting to run out of patience, and I'd only just started as well, and I knew I had a lot to do. The front splitter and rear diffusers were nightmares, as was the engine itself, the top of the engine. So a lot of patience required here, but worth it in the end because it does add to the overall look of the car itself. So there we go, there's 2 pieces on. We'll repeat the same for this side as well. Hit it with decal solutions, bit of heat, get it all folded over, and then there's 2 pieces to glue on the end, which are going to be carboned as well, and they have a little bit of photo etch trim for like a grille in there too. This is probably one of the most difficult parts to do, this top of the engine. I had to do it in a good dozen pieces, probably more. I've zoomed in on this piece here so you can kind of see what it was doing. So I got it as close as I could and then matching the weave up. If you keep the weave the same way, you can line it all up. And we just edge this down and snug it in around the top. And then just work your way around until it's all done. Once you're happy, we can start mounting the parts together following the instructions, which I use with a very loose term, the guide. So a little bit of CA glue in place. We'll glue all these pieces in. I would suggest dry fitting everything to make sure it fits before you commit to glue, because some of this is kind of guesswork where it goes. And then a little bit of PE trim on the outside of the cooling fan as well. So a little bit of careful application, cut it off the fret, clean it up, and just pop it in place. And then use the back of the tweezers or the side to push it down. We've got our auxiliary belt. Now, it did come with PE for this. I did not like the look of it at all. So I decided to use some cotton thread instead, which I'll cover in a minute. We've got the engine going together there. A couple of dabs of CA glue where needed. They're glued in place. And here we go. So I've got some thread. Let's put a little bit of glue at the bottom. We're a little bit out of focus, do apologise. A little bit of glue at the bottom. So just pop that there. Glue it in place, put it to one side for 5 minutes and let it dry. And we can come back and then keep it taut. And we're going to wrap around 3 or 4 times. And that will give us, hopefully, a look. There's a belt there. And it looked a lot better than the PE, put it this way. Trust me, it looked a lot better. So we keep that tight. And then put a little dab of CA glue at the bottom again. Pull it around and then trim off any excess. That will do us there. So yeah, a little tip there. I did try the photo etch. It's probably on the bench. You can probably see there it is. It's up above my fingers now between the sander. It just didn't look right at all. Once we got all this together, we're going to detail paint these parts in a gold titanium champagne gold colour. Just detail paint it with the brush. Steady hand here. And you'll be just fine. It's a nice looking engine, just the carbon was an absolute nightmare. I also didn't put a wash on this engine. This engine is spotless on the real car. So I decided against it. With it stuck in place at the back, I thought we'd go for a little test fit. Thankfully, it popped straight in. We've still got all our body to polish and all the interior to pop in place as well. But after the calamity of last week's episodes like a soap, we know it fits now, and yes, that was a bit of a disaster. That we did break a few parts. Luckily, it was salvageable. Yes, and then these intakes here, like I say, you have these 2 pieces to go on there. And they are handed, so make sure you get them the correct way round. And there we go. That's that. We won't need this for a while yet, so we're just gonna have a little test fit going through the back window. This needs to go in before the window goes in, so please make sure you do that. So yeah, it fits in perfect, so we'll get to that later. And I thought while I'm here, I'll paint up some of these parts that were not quite painted at the time when we airbrushed because of the angles we were keeping. So I've got some Vallejo model colour, black, then do a drop or 2 of water, and in we go. Now, the wheel mounts, or hubs, whatever you want to call them, they screw in place. So I've test fitted them. Yes, my screwdriver is wonky. I have a story on this. I have told it before. This hub didn't quite fit, so I'm going to put some holes in the top here. Resin is very soft, really easy to drill. And if you're careful with your drill bits, you can use them like a little bit of a router and kind of eat away at the resin, which is what I did. And that fits in much better now. Screwdriver was my dad's. I've owned that for 24, 25 years. It's a Barco screwdriver. My dad would never buy expensive tools. Finally bought some. First day we owned a full set of screwdrivers. He picked this one up, tried to live up a water key cover and bent it. And the bend's been there from day one. I could bend it back, but no, my dad did it because I lost my dad in 2009. It's always a nice little reminder, so I always keep it there. And it's in the drawer next to me and gets used for the most random of things around the cave. P discs now. So like I say, we painted the disc itself. A couple of dabs of Loctite CA glue on the back. And these go in place. Now, when you put the rear one on, you're going to have to line it up by eye, because this is where the wheel goes through. So make sure it's straight and on the right angle. I will say the hubs are a little bit wonky, and the wheel stubs are too. Have seen people replace them, but I didn't want to go that route. So with a little bit of fettling at the end, we got everything lined up perfect. And if you do get any excess glue anywhere, you can literally get rid of acetone. I prefer pure acetone. You can use nail varnish remover. I think pure acetone does a much better job, and just gently use it to get the excess glue off. Now the wheels, we primed everything in Mr. Surfacer Black here. I was originally going to do the centres of the wheels in GX2, not these parts, the parts behind it. I decided to do the Mr. Surfacer Black later, which you'll see. But everything's getting a wheel related, it's getting a GX2 gloss black base. And and then the exhaust, quick recoat of Tamiya white primer, and then the tailpipes, which I decided to do in the ceramic as well. Quite look at these, quite unusual to see a ceramic tailpipe. And the Tamiya white primer is a pretty good look for it as well. I'll put a washing at the end to dull it down a little bit. It looks quite good. Polish time. Kind of look forward to this. Kind of a bit nervous to doing it because it's a resin body. You've got to be really careful. But we're going to go around this with 8,000 and 12,000 micro mesh. Work our way around systematically, sanding and flattening all the paint. We're going to go in side to side and up and down crisscross pattern to avoid any scratches and just get rid of any dust or imperfections. Quite lucky on this one. Not really much in it. A little bit on this door here, a little bit of dust landing. Overall, pretty good 2K job out the gun. No orange peel, no runs, like I say, no real dust at all. So quite an easy one to do. So like I say, go around with 8,000 grit, keep it wet all the time, and then go around with the 12,000 as well to remove any micro scratches that you can. And then any left behind, we can get out with the UMP polishing system, which, talk of the devil. Here we go. So we've got some new cloths here. I'm trialing these for UMP. You're going to see new cloths. These are a lot easier to use, I think. A lot nicer. Not as thick as the microfiber or carbon fiber, as I've called them before. These are a little bit nicer. Really high quality cotton cloth. So you should see these soon on our site. It's my first time using them and absolutely brilliant. Really like them. So this should be a staple product you will see me using now. So we've got the compound first. This is the harsher of the polishes. And this will get any micro scratches out from the sandpaper. And then we'll go around the entire body and that boot spoiler. Give it a nice polish up. Circular, round and round, wherever motions you want to do, side to side. Wherever's easiest for you. And then come with a clean cloth and buff it up as you go. And then we'll repeat that with the polish in a bit. And if you do it properly, and you've got a good 2K clear coat, you'll end up with a really nice high shine, as you'll see when we are done here. So glad I picked this colour. It's a beautiful colour. It's very, very understated unless it gets under some form of light. If it's not under a light source, it looks a little bit dull and drab. Once it gets under the light, the silver metallic flakes kind of pop, and it just looks absolutely fantastic. So there we go, that's all the compounding done. I'm just cleaning up the body. You will see we get some in the door shuts and the panel lines. We've got an old toothbrush there, we can get rid of that, no problem at all. But just take your time. Resin, it's funny resin, it's very brittle. It'll snap rather than bend, so it's quite easy to damage. As you see, we get a nice shine there on that door. That's when we had a bit of dusting. That's just off the compound itself. Beautiful curves on the Porsches. They show a good paint job really well. And yeah, this is looking absolutely beautiful. Really, really is. So this is one of those stages where patience is key. Trust me, really take your time here. You can spend hours doing this. Hours. This is probably, because I had such a good clear coat, I was quite lucky, this is probably an hour's work. If it's a tough one, you've got loads of orange peel, lots of flaws, lots of dust to get out, you're going to have to spend a lot more time. Now, it's up to you how long you spend. And as I always say, you can have it what you put in. So, you know, if you really flat it back and polish it, you're going to get rid of those flaws. But you do have that issue that if you go too far, you burn through, you're starting all over again. But this is just after the compound. So once we get this polished, it'll really start to shine. So like I said, go around the compound, polish her up, clean her up, got the toothbrush in to get rid of any remnants of the compound. And then we can get a fresh piece of cloth and grab our polish. Like I say, the compound is a more aggressive polish and the polish is a lot kinder. So any micro scratches left behind by the compound, the polish that we're using now will remove that. And as you can see, after going over with the polish, we've got another clean cloth to wipe it off. The paintwork is, it's stunning. She's absolutely beautiful. She's not perfect at all, but lovely. I'm so glad I picked those mint green stripes. They're so off the wall colour to go on a green. And I kind of doubted myself for a couple of minutes when I first did it. I even tried to get them back off, thinking, oh no, I've made a mistake. But I am glad I stuck with them because I think they kind of go together in a weird way. I really do like it. So really happy with this. It's one of my favourite colours of cars I've ever painted. And like I say, while we're there, we'll do the boot spoiler. And at the end, we'll give it all a final buff up with another fresh cloth. Now, don't throw your cloths away. Give them a wash. Put them in the wash machine. You can hand wash them. Just don't put them in with any detergent. Just put them in with water. Let the water do the work. And you'll have no problem whatsoever. Now, again, glutton for punishment. I thought I'd carbon the engine bay because the real car is carboned. So another couple of hours of sadistic torture, fully carboning all the engine bay is the word I'm looking for something that you'll see in one picture over about 5 seconds on the video later. But worth doing because it looked brilliant. It looked really good at the end. Yeah, I do push myself to do stupid things sometimes that I think you're not really going to see, but just look at that. It looks great. Like I say, we're going to try the Tamiya carbon next time. It's a little bit smaller than this. I don't think it's quite as small as Scale Motorsports 124, so we'll see what we get. But again, several pieces of carbon decal in here to do this. A lot of work. I was getting really fed up of carbon decaling, as I'm sure anyone that was watching is fully aware. But I think it was worth it in the end. It added a nice touch to everything, and yeah, it's been an enjoyable model. I've enjoyed building this. It's definitely been a challenge. Boot spoiler, sorry, so let me get this right. The engine cover, sorry, is what we're looking at. I thought I'd be brave. Let's see if we can get this in one piece. I thought, no chance, just like the air intakes, we're not going to get it done. But we did. I actually did get it done. So I've popped it on. I've hit it straight away with UMP Extra Strong. And I thought what I'm going to do is I'm going to fully coat it, get it all settled in place, absolutely saturate it in this. I'm going to put it on the bench. This is about 2 minutes sped up now, I would say. So it might be a little bit fast, but watch it. You can see it actually settle itself all by itself. It settles in place. And that was exactly what I wanted. So you can see the decal solutions working there. Then I'll have to come in with the brush and just give it a little bit of persuasion and a little bit of heat. And it really started to settle down. Again, strategic snips with the scissors. You'll find corners. You see I'm going to look on the angles like this. And any pieces inside, because what you'll get if you don't put a snip there, when you fold the piece over, it'll crease. So anyway you think it's going to crease, just put a little snip. Don't worry. If it's going to fold over itself, it'll overlap and cover it. And then again, just keep working it gently, and it'll start to settle itself in place. I love our decal solutions. It's one of the best products I formulated for us, I think. It just does everything you need it to. There's not many decals it won't work on. Only really Fujimi are a pain in the arse. Ooh, I said I swear. Oh no. Fujimi decals are a nightmare. They really are. But any normal decals are set. Our decal solutions will absolutely get them fully set in place. And there we go. Because we've got the slats in there, if you run a knife in there gently, you can just put a little nick in there and then use the water pen. I love these water pens as brushes. There's nothing in them. You can just gently persuade the carbon in to where we need it. So again, a little tiny detail that you've got to really look to see. But I think it pays off. I think it adds a lot of detail to the engine and the cover and the car itself. It's little things like this can make or break a build. Wheels. Now, I've got Mr. Hobby, Super Metallic, Super Titanium. This is the original incarnation. I have all these paints on spoons so I can look and compare. And they're slightly different in the old to the new colours of the Super Metallics. Not a lot. Not a lot. But there is a bit of a difference there. So I thought, we'll go with this colour. It looked great. I'm going by reference pictures of the real car. And then, like I say, we did these gloss black. They're not gloss black on the real car. So I've gone with Mr. Servicer 1500 black to tone it down. So a couple of light coats of that. No problem at all. And then we've got some, AK Extreme Duraluminum. Duraluminum? Duraluminum. Now, I use this because it's got a slight gold tinge to it, and the real wheels do. The real wheels do as well. When I look back, it wasn't as gold as I wanted, so I resprayed them in a darker colour. Headlights, door handles, Super Metallic, Super Chrome, Mr. Hobby again. A couple of light coats over GX2. Great colour, works really well. Going for the 0.2mm Apex again, 14 PSI. And then possibly the most sadistic piece on this car, this bloody front splitter. Absolute nightmare. Me trying to be Johnny Big Man, gonna say something else then. Thought, I did that engine cover in one piece. I can do this in one piece. And I very nearly did. It very nearly went about an hour's work getting this one decal to settle in place with copious amounts of UMP decal solution, the heat gun, constant brushing. It took forever. I don't know if I show it in a minute, but it was nearly perfect. It was nearly perfect, and right at the last hurdle, it tore. And yes, that then progressed into dozens of tiny pieces, piecing this up. As you can see, I've already give up and started there. We've got a small piece in the middle, and then hours upon hours of fiddling. So that's enough of that one. We're on to the rear diffuser, which was a whole pain in the backside all by itself. And again, no chance of getting this in one piece, so I pieced it up and just went at it with dozens of pieces of carbon. Like I say, if you keep the weave matching, keep the pattern together and line them up like you do with wallpaper, it kind of melts into itself and you don't notice it as much. It's not perfect, but it's the best you're going to get if you want to carbon it. And that's it. That's all you're going to see of that because it drove me nuts. We've got some gold now. This will be Tamiya Champagne Gold again. And we're going to paint the road nuts, the wheel nut, centre lock nut in gold. And once we proper wash on this later, it'll look a lot more interesting. Like I see, we've got a bit of a golder colour now. And then building the wheels. Quite tricky to do these. They are staggered, so you got to make sure you get the fronts and backs right. There's no real right and wrong way to do it. It just falls together by itself. Be careful with the say glue. It's very easy to damage these parts. And then the centerpiece, I put a couple of dabs of say glue right in the center. Line it up, make sure it's aligned properly, and then push it in place. And there we go. There's one wheel done. We'll do the other three as well. And then the tyres, I've literally trimmed them off with my cutters. Tyres really nice in the kit. Very, very nice. And we'll just clean up any excess rubber with a sander if needed. And then just a quick test fit of a tyre. Again, they are staggered, so you make sure you get the right ones on because I didn't. It took me a while to figure out what the hell was going on. They look really good. Now, on the rear wheels, they have like a goldy trim around the edges, is similar to the center of the wheel. And I thought, you know what, I've got these Edding metallic pens. Let's give it a go. So I grabbed the gold. I sped this up. I thought, let's put a gold rim around the wheel. And you know what? I thought it looked great. So I did all of them. I'm literally following the profile of the wheel, so quite easy to do. Made sure the metallic pen is shaken up well and pulled through, and done all the edge and then went around the top of it as well. Oh look, we're back to carbon decal. I must have got bored there and thought I'm going to go something else for a bit. So again, dozens of bits of carbon over hours through the week. Drive me nuts on the live streams to get these done. Was it worth it? No. Am I glad I did it? No. Would I do it again? Probably. So, yeah, it's worth doing. It's a good look. Once everything's set, we left it overnight to dry, and we're back the next day with some Mr. Hobby semi-gloss UV cut, decanted and sprayed through the apex, just to give it a nice satin feel, and it kind of settles it all in together, gives it a more uniform look. So if you've got any marks on there, you'll lose them a little bit. And I don't think it looks too bad, considering it's dozens and dozens of pieced carbon pieces. It doesn't look bad at all. Now the light and the resin clear parts, I'm not a fan of resin clear parts. They can be a little bit hit and miss. They're not too bad in this kit. They're quite clear. So this is the rear windows that I've got the holes in for the intakes for the engine. So we've masked it up by hand, and we're going to give it a couple of coats, keeping it at a specific angle with Mr. Hobby Surfacer 1500 Black. We've masked off the front light cluster, and we're going to spray it in LP. Let me have a look at the colour. You have to guess here. Where is it? Where is it? 52. LP 52 it must be. Clear red. And then once that's dry, we can pop it off, and we'll put some orange in there as well. So probably about 5 or 6 light coats of this. On the last one, I hosed it on to get the colour down. Did that for the front and rear lights. The rear lights, it does come with some PE, but I've never had much luck with the PE for the rear of the lights. Quite often I use bare metal foil. On this one, I thought we'll get a micro brush, some model silver, and we'll just brush it in where required and remove any excess as we need. On the back of the front light cluster, after we've painted it amber, we're going to hit it with the silver because the rest of it is black. So we'll do that for both parts. Fit wasn't too bad on the lights. One piece on the, let me have a look, the passenger side. This side here was not quite perfect fitting as the other side. So we've got some Deluxe Materials glue and glaze. glue these in. Just didn't quite fit right to the back, which is a bit of a shame. I see me now trying to push it in, thinking, oh, it goes there. I did take it back out and have a look. Nothing obstructing it at all, just a fit of the part. This side fitted a lot better. So some glue and glaze in there. Leave it out to go tacky. It's fantastic when it goes tacky. It really grabs the bit. And then using a thin applicator, we put a little bead of deluxe materials around the edge for the light itself. Just look at that colour. Love the colour of this car. Beautiful. And pop these in. Let it set for a couple of minutes. Get a moist cotton bud. Definitely don't lick it though. And remove any excess white glue as required. See? Nothing on me camera of me licking it. Good that. Front headlights. Now, I did assemble these light lenses upside down. I didn't realise they were on the car. I've got them upside down, but I've only put them on with glue and glaze. So it's PVA-based glue. So I could literally peel it back off and stick it back on straight away. It was still tacky. But just pay attention. All the grills and what have you and covers now we've got off, mounted on some Tamiya tape on a tongue depressor, and we're going to give it several very, very light coats. Please go light when doing this. Don't hose the paint on because it can collect in the mesh. So a couple of light coats of Mr. Servicer 1500 black until everything is covered. These have been trimmed off of our Zuron shears and cleaned up with a Tamiya diamond file. Like I say, 2 or 3 light coats till you're happy. Now, I did find the screw points just needed widening a touch, so I got my Herzo drill. For God's sake, be careful you don't drill through the body. I measured and checked everything to make sure I was nowhere near. Worst thing you can do now is put the drill right through the front of that bonnet or hood and be like, ta-da, you've ruined your model. But yeah, the screws were just not biting in place, so I measured the screws next to the drill bit. I forget the size now, but you can do it by eye. Popped it in place and they fitted much, much better. Just some self-tapping screws, my wonky screwdriver. And there we go. Just snug it up. Don't go mad tightening it. Looks like I'm really tightening. I'm not. I'm going really gentle there, nice and slow. And then the back on in place as well. And there we are. There's our body screwed to the chassis. Wonderful. Oh dear, look, we've got some resin dust. Oh, let's get the Hoover out. Whee! There we go. Fantastic, this Hoover. Trust me, honestly, you might be mocking going, what the hell? Trust me, as a bench Hoover, you can Hoover the floor. I Hoovered the floor of my shed, my cave underneath me, and it picked everything up. It's phenomenal. £7.60. Go and buy yourself one. In my Amazon store, in the description down below. So with the engine in, we can put our intakes in as well. The carbon in the engine bay looks fantastic. We've got our ceramic exhaust in place. A couple of dabs of CA glue on the front. We can line up our splitter. This is where you need to start to be careful now with CA glue. It is the spawn of the devil. For wrecking stuff, if you can, use white glue because it's a lot more forgiving. This will ruin your model in a heartbeat, but nothing grabs like it at all. And same on the back, just a couple of strategic light dabs of glue where required. Don't forget to put your exhaust in. I had it upside down, so we took it out and put it in the right way. It just fits in because it fits in under the cooling fan and the splitter holds it in place, so no need for any glue. And then line everything up. Hold it for a second or two. Mental note when I paint one of these to make sure to get under those sills with the car painting. See where it's missing there a little bit. I didn't think it'd be on show, but it is. So mental note for next time. And then grills. Lots of grills go over the body. Do not use CA glue. Trust me. Get the PVA glue out. Put it in a little pot like I've got at the back. Leave it there for half an hour. It will go as tacky as hell with a skin over the top. And it becomes ultra, ultra sticky. Trust me. It works very, very good. And it causes a lot less mess because you can get it off with a moist cotton bud, but don't lick it. Whatever you do, do not lick the cotton bud. It's against the law. You'll get in trouble. Okay? And there we go. There's a little grill piece on the front here as well. Some tricky parts at the end of this. This was a nerve-wracking build at the end. I'm always a bag of nerves at the end because if you're going to get a nice big super glue print or scratch something or wreck your clear part, this is when you're going to do it, unfortunately. So £150 kit in price, not weight. It was very nerve-wracking. We got these little grills to go on the front, so again, just some PVA based glue and glaze. Pop everything in place. A little bit of persuasion with the tweezers. There we go. So lots of them to get in place. 2 on the front, 2 on the sides here. Nice and simple and easy to do. There we go. And then repeat on the other side. Now, the one bit of this I've not been looking forward to at all is the clear parts. And they're coming up in a minute. And the bloody window wiper. Philip, you're a nightmare. Philip's been on at me to get the window wiper done. And sod's law, I go and miss half the build because I was chatting to them on the live stream and forgot to click record. So I got most of it. Not all of it, though. Okay. Now, top tip, if you're building this kit or any of these kits, if it has a resin rear window, on this, it would be better to put this in after the acetate front windows in. And the reason for that is you can glue the front of the front window in place, slide it on the back, on the B-pillar, and then put this resin piece over the top, and it won't require any glue because you could just see a bit of glue on the B-pillar where I put it in. So knowing that, I would do it that way. We've got the, is that the oil filler cap on the side? This is the fuel on the front. That must be oil on the side, is that? I forget now. I think it is. There's oil and fuel filler cap in. And then the windows. So I've been absolutely worried sick about doing these. The back one looks pretty simple. Front one has a hell of a curve in it and looks absolutely terrifying. And how's this going to go? I don't know, but what I will say is, just as I line this up perfectly to show you, get all the glue in, look, see, there we go, perfect in shot, focused. Right, there we go, yeah, expert professional job. Let's get the perfect super glue just there. There we go, that's it, we're nearly ready. And we can get the acetate rear window out, ready to show everybody in perfect 1080p HD. The rear window goes in place. We can line it all up. Here we go, here's the window. Here we are, we're ready. You ready, everyone? Here we go. Oh, I've moved our shot and you can't see it. There we go. Well done. So we'll show you on the front one instead. So just some careful application. We've got some Bob Smith Industries foam safe CA glue. Now, I have a love-hate relationship with this stuff because it's a pain in the backside, but it is good at the same time. So it doesn't haze any clear parts, which is brilliant. So on this, so look, the piece I'm doing now, we're not in focus. The bit I had before was perfect. Sod law. So we glued one side and we're going to push it down with some cotton buds, nice and gentle. There's a protective film on the front of the glass still, on the acetate. I'm just going to hold this until it's glued in place. Okay, so probably good 4 or 5 minutes. Then on the other side, while we've got it held in place, make sure it fits the other side as well. Make sure you've got it lined up correct. We're going to apply the CA glue the same again. Don't need to put it in the middle. We don't need to put it in the bottom at all. This will hold itself in perfect. And the very nerve-wracking part now is this. You ready? There we go. Let's fold it over. Fold it over nice and slow. There we go. Let's get the cotton buds. Cotton buds is one. Cotton bud A. And cotton bud B. And we just need to push on the car so it pushes backwards. Then we have to start again. Don't worry, we won't do it again. Wait for it. Wait for it. There you go. Use the cotton bud, push it down, run your cotton bud up it to get all the glue. Now what I did find is the bottom corners were a little bit stubborn because of the severe angle they are on. So I put a little bit more CA glue in, grabbed it with the cotton bud, and I just sat and held it again. Hang on, wait. Now, I held it for about another, honestly, I probably sat there for 10 minutes holding that to make sure it was glued in place, and they were perfect. Side windows. So like I say, if I was to do this again, I would put these in first, then the rear window, because you wouldn't have to put any glue on the B-pillar then, it'll hold it in. Now, because I did it this way, they're a little bit long, so I had to trim them, which is why I thought, they're meant to fit behind the other windows. So that's why we did this. So same as before, we're gluing the front in. Make sure you got this the right way around. Again, there is a protective film on there. And then lift up the back. And if you're doing it my way, I've recommended, you wouldn't need to do this, but because I'm an idiot, I didn't look. A little bit of glue, and then the cotton bud, push it in. And again, just hold it. Very nerve-wracking. And real test of patience. Now, top tip on these is to leave this film on until you're done. But there's chrome trim to go on the windows, which when I put it on, I didn't like the look of it at all. I thought it kind of cheaped the car out, if that makes sense. So I opted not to do it. But I did think while I'm doing it, I must just take all the clear parts off and make sure all the protected clear off, make it fine. One thing I will say about the acetate windows, they look phenomenal. Compared to normal styrene clear parts, they are crystal clear. Very, very good. Wing mirrors, we've got the silver metallic decals in place. Very, very tacky glue and glaze. We'll hold these on perfect without any fogging. No problems at all. And then the wheels. So front and back, they are handed with the tyres as well. And front and back only. The discs slot over the wheels. So I'll put a little bit of glue on the disc and on the wheel. Did a different way this time. This is where I'd recommend doing it. Put a little bit of glue in the hub itself and around the edge. Pop the disc on the way it should sit, which is that way. And then grab the wheel and push the wheel in place. That way worked a lot better. Much, much better. And then same on the front. Line it up. Grab the wheel. Line it up, push it in. Make sure you get everything straight and lined up. There we go. Keep checking your fingers for CA glue. Keep wiping them. Wherever. Just don't get CA glue on the body, the wheels, and ruin all your hard work. And then the engine cover. Now the engine cover came with photo etch hinges. I couldn't see what they did at all. So I opted on not using them. And what I've done is I've bent a little bit of the seat metal material we've got left over in an L shape. I've popped it on the back. I'm just checking the fit to make sure the boot lid goes on okay. The engine cover. Put a little dab of CA glue on it. With it in place, pop the boot lid exactly in position where it needs to go. Press it down. Hold it for a second. And there we go. One engine cover mount. Paint that black and that'll be gone forever. We did put a Porsche logo on. You might remember this, but there's a proper metallic raised logo in the kit. So I put both on. That way it's the best of both worlds. It's under the clear coat and on top. Much, much nicer quality metallic decal this. So just in a bit of water for a couple of seconds. Pop it on. Very easy to apply. They are very, very self-adhesive. There you go. Job done. And then a little single one for the grille on the back of the engine cover. Just underneath the spoiler. In gold as well. Really nice little touch. Beautiful cars these. Whether they're worth 1.8 million, I don't know. One thing I did forget to do, because I'm an idiot, was drill the tyre valves for the wheels until they were glued in place. So we're doing them in situ on the car. So a 0.5mm drill bit in our Tamiya pin vise. And then Tamiya tweezers and a very steady hand. I'm going to steady it now. You ready? There we go. And we just gently line it up. Pop it in. And repeat that for all 4 of them. Tricky to do. And then a little piece of chrome trim, which I did opt to put on. I quite like this look. We've got some chrome on the car. I just didn't like the chrome windows. I thought they looked odd. And I'm glad I opted out of doing them. So again, super tacky glue and glaze. Pop it in. Push it home. I didn't lick that. That was not licked, I guarantee you. And then run it across. Probably take several runs across to get all the glue off. And this will help push it down as well. And then repeat that for the other side too. There we go, a bit of a camera wobble. Oh, to zoom in. What are we doing? We're zooming in for something. Oh, window wiper. So this is all the footage I've got of the window wiper. And this is Phillips' fault. I'm blaming Phillips. So I've already bent the arm itself in 3. And then we've bent the little piece that holds the blade in 3 as well. So not very good how-to this one at all. We'll get it in the next one, I promise. But I persevered and did it. I hate these things, but this one wasn't that bad to do. 3 pieces, quite simple. Lost it on the bench. Where's it gone? Right, there you are. So a little dab of Bob Smith's super glue again. Make sure everything's angled correctly. The right way round. And there we go. Very, very fiddly today. I've got a very, very shaky left hand at the minute. Not sure why. My right hand was shaking like hell because I had an overactive thyroid for a while. My left hand's going crazy lately. Don't know why at all. And then the blade itself, little dab of Bob Smith shea glue again. We need to get this one standing up, so just pop it in. And there we go. Bob's your uncle. One completed photo etch windy wiper. There you go. It'll need a little bit of angle in the arm to get to sit on the screen properly, but we won't know that until we put it in place. So once we get it in focus, I'll show you. There we go. Top job. Look at that. What do you think of that, Philip? A personalised window wiper just for you. We're going to take that to the spray booth off camera, paint it in Mr. Hobby, Mr. Surface of black, and a little dab of glue and glaze. You can see it's still fresh on the body. Just pop it in place and let it sit. And then with a final go over with a nice clean cloth, we're going to clean it all up. Have a little look on camera what she looks like, and then we'll get some pictures of her and have a look. So I think she's turned out really well. It's not perfect by any means. I've got greasy fingerprints on the side. We'll get rid of those for the pictures. I think she's turned out well. Love the interior. Love those patterns on the seats. The colour's great in the interior. I absolutely love this metallic oak green. Carbon work looks good. Love those ceramic exhausts. The kit's been very, very enjoyable to build. The carbon in, I think it was worth the time and effort. I think it looks good. It's overscale. I know it is. We're going to try it next time with the Tamiya and have a little bit smaller scale. But these acetate windows are super clear, really nice, really do like these. And I definitely see us building more of these in the future. And we have some more of these on the way, which I'll discuss in the outro of the video. But I think she's turned out well. I'm happy with how it looks. And I really enjoyed the build, although the carbon drove me nuts. And it was a nerve-wracking build. And there we go. That is on my scale production background. Absolutely beautiful. What a stunning colour it is. Absolutely beautiful. This is what drew me to this car. This colour alone. It's not the exact colour I saw on the car, but this is an official Porsche colour. I just think she looks great. I really do. Now, one thing I wish I had done, look at the front windscreen. Behind it at the top, it's body colour. Should have painted it black. That's my only regret of the kit. Everything else, I've got fingerprints on it still. Everything else, really happy with. It's come out well. Like I say, not perfect, but what model is. It's just great. Very happy with that mint stripe choice. It's completely off the wall. I knew I was taking a risk doing it, but I just think it works really well with that green colour. Happy with the wheel colours. Love that gold trim around the side of the wheel. Carbon work looks good. The kit. We'll have a chat probably about the kit in a minute. The kit went together great. Excuse me. No real issues. Other than the interior, the instructions are dire. I think as you go into it knowing that they're not instructions, they're a guide, you'll be just fine. But look at the stand. She sits beautiful. And yeah, just love this. It's a beautiful looking car. It was a great kit. And it was an enjoyable build. And I hope you've enjoyed following it along. We're kind of gone against the way we were going to do the build series of the resin. We start at the top. But hey ho. Plans change, things happen, and here we are at the tippity top, and we'll work our way down through the resin kits as we go. So there we are. Let me know what you think of it in the comments down below. Let's hear everybody's thoughts, and we'll go back to me for some final thoughts. There we are then, that's it. She's done. I thoroughly enjoyed that build. It was nerve-wracking, frustrating, and drove me nuts at times, mainly because the instructions are just a guide, not instructions at all. It's not a process at all. It's literally this is how some of these parts should be done. Whether you do it this way is up to you. You definitely need to test with parts before you commit to gluing anything on. Thankfully, no real damage getting the interior back apart in part 2, but that could have been detrimental to the build. Trickiest things on this, the carbon was ridiculous. Some really hard pieces to carbon. The glass was a little bit nerve-wracking to do, but overall it wasn't that bad really. It went down quite well. No real mistakes on the glass at all. And overall, I'm just really happy with the build. I've gone through it and said it several times. The colour's beautiful. Love the clear coat. Love that mint decal option I put on there. Interior colour with the tartan pattern on the seats. Lovely. The wonderful flocking that Hannah did for me inside. All the carbon work on the engine, the splitters and everything all turned out well. And yeah, for my first Hobby Design Alpha models, I'm happy how this turned out. Now, I've got a few of these in the stash. I've got a Liberty Works Aventador, the Golf one, to do. I've got an R35 Trans kit to do up there as well. I've got a Ferrari 488 Pista and a McLaren P1 GTR. And Alpha have said they're going to send me some models my way. I've got 4 on the way, apparently, because Alpha Models has been re-uploading my videos to their own channel. It's a bit naughty, but I said I'd work with them, and they want to send me some stuff to review. That's fine. So hopefully they'll arrive and we can get some reviews up. And yeah, we can, let's see, we can get some of these builds done. So if you're not watching on my International Scale Modeler channel, come on over to my International Scale Modeler channel and watch the original channel where these videos have originated from. Is the word I'm looking for. Really enjoyed the kit though. It's been a pleasure to build. I think the carbon's the most frustrating bit of it, just because there's so much, and you kind of get into that zone where you're like, oh, I want it to look good. Piecing it is a compromise, but it turned out okay in the end. I was quite happy how it went. And I'm just happy how this has turned out. It's beautiful. It looks great in the display case. Once that thing catches any artificial light, it just pops. I wanted to get sunny. It was sunny the day I was finishing this off. The moment I finished it, it went dull. If I get a nice sunny day, I'll take it outside and get some pictures because it absolutely pops in the sun. It looks fantastic. So there we are. Let me know what you think of the build down below. Did you enjoy it? Would I see another one? Should I stop making models full stop and bugger off and go and play bingo somewhere? Let me know your thoughts. What should I do? Hope you enjoyed it and hope you stuck with it today. This one took a lot of time and effort. So if you're there watching, leave a comment. Let me know it was worth the time and effort because this was a lot of work. This is, with video editing and everything, this is nearly 2 weeks work. This is a lot of work to do this. And it is 26 on Friday. I am live in 1 hour and 20 minutes for the Friday Night Live show. And all I've done for the past 2 days is edit videos. And I want to start a new model. And I don't know what yet. And you're going to find out soon when I start it. Here we go. Here we are. So as always, like to support the channel. There's a Patreon me, a PayPal me, and a Buy Me Coffee link in the description down below. Also links to anything and everything to do with myself, ISM, UMP. They're all down below. The Facebook group, forum, umpretail.com. We've got the live daily live stream page group for our daily live streams over my other channel, which is linked down below. We've got the group build page, the offer hangout group. You can join us over there and sit and model with us on Zoom throughout the day. You got my scale meter or my modeling stash, and my Amazon affiliate storefront is there with a lot of the products I use. And there's also a link to a post on the forum, which has got everything I use. If you see me using the video, you'll more than likely find it in that list. And if you don't, feel free to ask me down below. So there we are. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed the build. Question for today: what was your most favoritist build to date? One that you probably didn't expect to enjoy, but really did. Let's see who answers these questions. I'm going to be sneaky now in future and ask other questions. There we go. I've got it. I've got another question. 2 today. What was the most enjoyable build you've ever done that you actually didn't think you'd enjoy? For me, it's that 16 scale MPC Airfix Cobra. I thought it was going to be crap. Turned out to be a great little kit and I really enjoyed it. Second question is, there's a screwdriver in this. Why is it wonky? Let me know. If you've watched the video, you'll know why because I explained it through the video. Let's see who's paying attention to the videos. There we are. Enjoy the rest of the day, everyone. I will see you very soon for the next build video. Hopefully see you tonight while we're live. If not, I'll see you on every day. Bar Saturdays, the only day I don't stream. We'll see you on the live streams on my Paul ISM Adventure page. If you're not sub, give the channel a sub, give the video a thumbs up. Click that bell notifications, get notified of all the latest videos. Please leave a comment. The comments mean the world to YouTube creators. It shows feedback and the people are liking the videos. Let me know what you're liking, what you don't like. Probably don't like this waffle. And yes, enjoy the rest of the evening, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.